Hey there and good morning. It is Friday. It is big agent meeting today. My name is Russ Laggan and I will be your host for today. And today is a super special day for me. And I wanted to say congratulations to me. I know you're like, really, Russ? Congratulations to you. I just wanted to say congratulations to me for being with the company for 3 years. June 6th is my anniversary with EXP. I've been with EXP for 3 years in this role, and I wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for 3 years of some of the most amazing moments in my life. I've been able to become a better me while being here. I'm on a stage that is a perfect platform for me to play on to help change lives and make a difference in this world. And that's my number one goal. I want to make a difference in this world. And you guys let me do that here. So I want to say thank you for those of you that put up with me. Thank you for those of you that allow me to be here. And thank you for those of you that make my life the most amazing place in the world. I love nothing more than being with this company right now. So thank you for that. All right. So with that, we've got a great show for you guys lined up today. We've got Holly Mabery who's going to be talking about what's going on in the brokerage world. Then we're going to have a conversation with Bryan and Camryn Cicernos. They're going to be having a conversation, talk about winning clients. Then we got a solution that we're going to talk to you guys about. And somewhere in that show, I'm going to have a conversation with you about CRM of choice so you guys can stay up to speed on what's going on with CRM. So with that, let's start off with Market Minute. Market Minute today, I want to show you guys a simple technique that I have. And I'm going to grab my phone here. I have in my hands all the time, when I'm talking market stuff, I always have a little pile of goodies that are in my phone. So when I'm talking to somebody and we're talking about house price declines and fear of a bubble popping, I have the ability to pull this up, which shows the 5 markets currently that are actually in decline. So instead of just telling somebody something, I'm going to show them something. It also helps if I say, hey, why don't I just send this to you? By the way, here's the most affordable cities in the US. Here's something like employment percentage change pre-COVID to post-COVID. And they've got the US housing prices, whether it's gone up or down over the last 75 years. We've only had 7 down years on a national level. So having those types of things at your fingertips, ready to go and ready to launch at any given time. When I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I say, hey, wait, I got something for that. I always have something in my back pocket that I can take and I can send out to somebody else because then it lends credibility. So my rules are always build your sphere of influence, add value, then communicate with people. I can even send some of those things to people that I want to communicate with, send them that, then follow up and say, hey, this is Russ Laggan. Did you get that thing I sent? I thought that was fascinating and I thought you'd get a kick out of it. Next thing you know, we're in a conversation that's meaningful, whether it's about selling houses or whether it is about attracting other real estate agents. By the way, realtors love it when I have that stuff, and they always ask me to send it to them when we're doing those types of things. So there's your Market Minute for today. Always have something that you can have tangible. 2 locations for that. In Facebook, it's Market Matters. Type in Market Matters in Facebook, and there's a group that posts those types of things. And the other one I like to use too is NAR Research, NAR Research on Facebook. They've got a group, and they're posting all kinds of stats that you can use, save, screenshot, and use those to send people out. Okay, there you go. Market Minute for today. So next up, we have the one and only Ian Wheatley talking about KGCI Radio. Ian, take it away.
Hey there, thanks for hanging out with KGCI Real Estate On Air during the big agent meeting. Back on Tuesday on Real Estate On Air Live, I had the opportunity to sit down again with Real Estate B School founder Lars Hedenborg, and we had a powerful conversation about the very first step in scaling from solo agent to team leader. Any guesses what it is? It's being productive in your own real estate business. And Lars shared the key habit systems and mindset shifts that it really takes to get productive in your real estate business in today's market. We also broke down this week's housing headlines, including what's actually happening with prices and why buyer hesitation may be your biggest opportunity yet. And all of that kicks off our brand new Friday focus that is all about scaling from solo agent to team leader. We're diving into 6 hours from the top real estate coaches and team leaders who are sharing their blueprints of how they have built successful and profitable teams. To dive in, scan the QR code over on your screen right now. And we start as soon as the big agent meeting is done on KGCI Real Estate On Air.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Ian Wheatley. So next up, we have the one and only Holly Mabery talking about updates that you need to know that are going on in the brokerage around you. Take it away, Holly.
Hey, good morning, EXP family. Well, it has been a whole lot of information as I've been in the Washington, D.C. area for the National Association of Realtors. I actually sit on the National Insurance Committee. And what was interesting to me, especially with this committee, it covers a variety of different things from health insurance, title insurance, flood insurance, homeowners insurance. But the one that caught me off guard this week was community insurance. And so I wanted to give you a few tips of what to watch in your transactions to help you not lose it right at the end. And so first and foremost, insurance impacts are kind of happening across the nation. We've seen so much with the wildfires out west to the flooding and hurricanes in the east, and then the wind and hail across the Midwest. What's been interesting is these layers of insurance from homeowners, condo, townhome, and the community. It's really impacting what people pay, how they pay it. And this is the other thing I want you to know. The risk challenges, they are going up, and the national average is saying only about 2% per year. I know in my area, we've actually seen people lose their coverage, or even it's gone up like 20%. What's important here is you and I working with buyers and sellers every day. We are helping them prepare for what could be and how we plan. And these are some of the long-term impacts. With the resets annually and adjustments, it's really important that we take a look at the property specific to the purchaser. Like, what does it mean? And this is where carriers are coming in almost at the last second saying, hey, the roof, we just did a flyover with a drone. That roof completely needs to be replaced. Or, my gosh, that is not a roof we will insure because of the type of material it is. Very, very important. And that flood zone certification, well, the flood maps being drawn by FEMA, we want to make sure that we've got the most up-to-date flood maps. And we're seeing different ranges of flood zones starting to expand. Okay, so how do we empower buyers? How do we do this and not just lose our minds? First and foremost, I want you to start, if they're buying in an HOA, a condo, or a townhome, even a community association, it's really critical that we look for any recent replacements. Have roofs been replaced? Where are we at? I know like Florida has a law as far as infrastructure and stability because of the condo collapse a couple of years ago. And most recently in Maryland, there's a bill working through the legislature that will require 3 years of reserves. So what does this mean to you and I? Well, cost goes up. So if we are proactive in getting those numbers, helping our buyers understand that true cost of ownership, it may help them make a better determination. Now, the second thing we want to be doing very smartly is also like, hey, we want to pre-qualify just like we would do with a lender. We want to pre-qualify with homeowners insurance. Get them involved with the insurance company locally very quickly. By working with a local lender, or excuse me, a local insurance company, you'll have ideas as far as, hey, what are common issues that we see in this area? Where have areas been maybe pulled out of insurance? Also, what kinds of things are we seeing? My mom and dad have a house in Prescott, and their deck needs to be replaced. Well, what's interesting is because of where they're at, they've got kind of a wooded area behind them. That deck, when they go to replace it, they have to upgrade from not just wood, but to Trex. And it's got to be a fireproof Trex. And so that's much more expense than they were budgeting for. These are keys to know when it comes to your insurance, cost of replacement, etc. Now, get the inspection during your inspection period, get that cost of insurance so you can fully vet what's going on. And that includes the community information, because if they haven't had an assessment lately, if their reserves are low, that may be an unforeseen cost to your buyer in the next couple of months or in the next few years. And that could price them out of that property. And then finally, what becomes so important as we look at all of this, proactively review the lifespan on everything. What was interesting to me this week is you may say it's a 20-year roof, but has it got 10 years on it? The insurance company may not fully replace it because they're saying more than half the life has been taken out, even though we just had a terrible windstorm. This kind of proactivity is going to make a difference for your clients. Now, at the end of the day, make insurance part of the search, not your final hurdle. Looking at the cost of ongoing homeownership maintenance really is a good conversation to have with your buyers right now, because interest rates are higher. Maybe they're a bit on the cash poor side and they're really doing everything they can to be mindful in their purchase. This should be a very honest conversation you're having with them. And then if they're buying in a community association, condo, townhome, please make sure you're looking at the assessments with them, that they're asking good questions and they're reviewing all of those notes or minutes from the association. Are they proactively replacing roofs? Are they doing defensible space? What does it look like in the property preservation and protection? If you have any questions, please reach out. Just a little bit from DC, and I hope to see you very soon.
All right, there you go. Holly Mabery, thank you very much for keeping us up to speed on the latest and the greatest on what's going on that you need to know every single week on Big Agent Meeting. She's adding value. All right, so next up, I get the actual rare pleasure talking about something that I'm learning a lot more about, and you guys need to be learning a lot more about. CRM of choice has hit EXP. So today, check this out. We have CRM of choice that's going to be available for you. And what EXP is doing is making sure that you now have a choice. When was the last time you heard of brokerage that gave you 3 options so you had the flexibility to be able to choose the CRM that works best for you? This gives you more control over your business and not stuck with having to use whatever you're giving. This also gives you a scenario where probably one of these 3 tools are something that you can use and it's built right into the price of being with EXP versus having to pay for your own CRM all the time. This is really cool for you to have ownership of your systems and what you do. Now included in our tech stack, we have Bold Trail. So let me give you guys a quick sketch. Some of you guys are asking me, like, which one's for me, Russ? If you're already using KV Core and you like using KV Core, this is probably the website for you. KV Core for me was always really complicated because it has so many amazing things it can do that I just don't understand and don't love doing that kind of stuff. So for the people that really like a lot of tools, a lot of bells and whistles, for people that are more website savvy lead generators, KV Core is the most amazing tool in the world. Bold Trail is going to be following that suit. They are actually in conjunction with KV Core. So this is the next step for you. If you love KV Core and it's been the CRM that you love, Bold Trail is going to be the way you want to go. This includes your IDX website, and it also includes lead generation tools, which actually is a cool tool that I liked in KV Core too. So this is your complete business building toolkit. Bold Trail is for you. If that's not really your jam and you want to check, then you may want to check out Lofty. Lofty is an all-in-one marketing and lead generation machine. So if you're saying, Russ, I need marketing and lead gen, Lofty is probably going to be the one for you. This has built-in AI assistance. It has smart plans, and it also includes a mobile app, which some people really get a kick out of. This is a social studio plus transaction tools to help you take your business to the next level. This is a really super sleek, modern design, and it has full team support. So if that's something that appeals to you, you want to take a look at Lofty. Also, end of Q3, it's going to be available in French. And for those of you that are sphere of influence, more relationship-based people like myself, for the relationship-first people, referral-based agents, Close is going to probably be the CRM you want to check out. Single agent, like building referral relationship business, you want to look into Close. This has auto logs for calls, emails, and texts from your own number, which makes it easier to keep track of. It has AI reminders of most likely suspects that you need to be talking to. It also has an email writing support system. So we know we need to be making more contact, and this helps you write better emails and makes it more simple for you. This also has best-in-class mobile and Canva integrations. So if you need to build something, design something, you can also touch that on your phone, which is pretty cool. This one already has rockin' and rollin' French within it, and my understanding is it's the Quebec-style French, not the France French. So with that being said, Close may be the CRM for you. All right, so there you go. Each one of these has a slightly different feel and flavor. You're going to have the ability to figure out which one you want. Cool part is you don't want to wait till July 1st when we make this switch. You can start now, grab this QR code, open that puppy up, and it's got the FAQ, frequently asked questions, that gives you guys the answers that you need to be able to figure out, number one, which one's probably a better fit for you. And number two, there's a bunch of training that's going on for the next couple of weeks so that you can get educated and up to speed on exactly which CRM is the best fit for you. You're going to need to make make a choice, and you're going to stick with that choice for 12 months. So I want you to get as much information as you can. Start now, figure out which one's the best one for you, and then start to opt in on that so it's ready to go July 1. Excuse me, July 1 when we make the shift. All right, that's all for CRM of choice. Next up, we have Winning Clients with Bryan Ellington and Camryn Cisneros. Take it away.
I wanted to talk to you about so many things, but I thought that we could use the bulk of our time to talk about community and networking and how you build a strong network. And I know you do it necessarily not from a standpoint of, pure lead generation and things like that, but there are agents who do leverage networks as a primary driver of leads for their business. And I think a lot of agents could learn a lot from what you've done. So maybe could I start by just asking you to give a brief introduction of who Camryn is and how you came to be the Camryn that we know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I came into real estate in 2022. I originally am from Oklahoma or from New Jersey. I served in the military as an 88 mic truck driver. So that brought me to Oklahoma. That was my duty station. And when I got out in 2022, I jumped 2 feet into real estate because I was genuinely looking for purpose. I was looking for a place of collaboration and community. And I wasn't really getting that from the military. So when I finished my contract, I jumped into real estate. I was 22, going through a divorce, not from Oklahoma, with zero sphere of influence. I came in with just a heart, grit, and some vision. And I just implemented that idea. And EXP was the first and only brokerage I've been to. And essentially, once I got my license, came to EXP, it completely changed my life. Just within a year of being at EXP, it gave me the tools and systems. I opened up 6 streams of income, surpassed 6 figures, and bought my first house just shy of 23 years old. And then I also became corporate 2 months into being an agent. And that truly helped me find community and be able to collaborate and find my special niche, and that of which is building relationships. Within a year and a half of being at EXP, I came across One EXP, our affinity groups. There's 14 of them, and I became the chair for the Pride Network. And that's really where things took off for me as far as building community. So I came in as a co-chair, and within a year of doing that, we grew it from 990 members to what's now standing over 20,000 members, and now has become the largest industry-specific LGBTQ plus advocacy group that has ever been created, and the fastest resource group that EXP has ever had. So it's honestly, I give a lot of the credit to just EXP gave me all the tools and the systems to build the dream as large as I wanted to. And that came through, intentional programming, radical collaboration, and having visibility backed by purpose. I think that our success falls directly in the reciprocity of our ability to problem solve, impact, cultivate relationships, and to continuously propel them forward, regardless if it is building your business as an agent, or if it's somebody as a staff member looking to immerse themselves in community, and anybody that's looking to build influence. If you're a rev share program, if you're building your rev share, I do produce as an agent. I do have a rev share. I'm opening up my own team, Cam & Co Real Estate, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the short blurb of how I got to where I am now, but that's just through radical collaboration, programming, and just being intentional with it, backed by purpose.
Yeah. And remarkable results too. And you and I kind of talked about this, and I shared about my friend Stephanie Stone Robb in San Antonio. She's got I think it's a French bulldog. Stephanie, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a French bulldog community on Facebook, right? And although that's not her only community on Facebook, she does get deals out of that. I know other agents who have similar, like what the average person would not even have thought of as a community, but because of who they are, where they're from, what they like, it just occurred to them that either to join that community or even to start one, right? And then get after it. Going from 990 folks to over 20,000 in, what was it, a little over a year?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So that definitely takes intentionality. That doesn't just happen by accident. So what I wondered is if maybe there's a blueprint now, whether you want to start a pride group or you want to start a group based on ethnicity. my friend Jenny opened up the local chapter of ARIA here in Austin, Texas, asked me to be one of the founding members with her. I am not Asian, but I did have a passion for advocacy and helping agents succeed. And so I was a natural fit for her because I could also teach classes and things like that as part of it. So there's no stopping based on what languages you speak, what color you are, or anything like that. Creating advocacy groups is certainly one way. Creating charity groups, creating whatever sort of network and affinity groups you want to. I think there's probably a blueprint to be had in talking through your experience. I'm kind of curious. Can you try your best to narrate for us how one goes from 990 members to 20,000 in a year's time?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a great question because I think in real estate, we all know that people do business with those that we know, like, and trust, right? And we want to shift it from chasing to attracting. And a lot of that was built through creating consistent events and programming. So one of the things that Pride Network we launched was Tea Time. And that was a program that we have once a month where we're spotlighting LGBTQ plus agents, allies, those that just want to get plugged into the community and amplifying their voices and creating intentional connection so that it wasn't just about attendance, it was about connection and connecting with people and amplifying voices. And truly, we even know this in the RevShare program, it only takes one person to change your life. We can recruit and partner with as many people, but it takes that one person that can truly change the trajectory of our growth and consistently putting those people forward. And not asking myself, how do I grow to 20,000? I had to ask myself, who do I have to be? What kind of person do I have to be in order to attract those that want to be around me? And that was through, instead of focusing on seizing opportunities, it was about creating opportunity. And that was my focal point in my shift in my career. Because the first 2 years, I was focused on, okay, how do I seize more opportunity? How do I get to the next level? And in my leadership now, I'm very much an egalitarian person, but what I do is I move fast, but never alone. And I implemented that with the Pride Network. So I not only welcomed a community of people with me, but intentionally sought out opportunities to elevate others. And then that just, it became like a magnet, everyone wanted to be a part of it. And everyone realized that there was purpose. When I first came into Pride at 990-ish members, I saw there was potential for a movement because it kind of was just a space. And one of the things was people knew who Pride Network was, but they didn't really understand the purpose behind it, or they had no idea who we were because our outreach hadn't been there yet. So I focused on elevating, amplifying voices, and then also creating opportunities for others. And that just naturally attracted, anyone from top producing leaders to agents that are new in the company, just seeking out community. And we were able to plug them in with people that would essentially inspire them, people that are doing what they dream to do and saying, hey, I see you, I believe in you, I have the vision for you. This is how we're going to connect you. And I think that's the powerful thing about leadership that you and I talked about is people will follow those that have the vision. Because if they can see what you can see, that there would be no reason to follow you. You carry that vision. And even when people would tell me that, when I was just talking about 10,000, they were like, well, that's crazy. How in the world are you going to do that? And then I was like, well, watch me, and then it took 8 months for us to hit that. And what was crazy is that the 20,000 was on my vision board, but I was supposed to hit that before 2026. And we hit that by Q2 of this year. So I had to bump up our goal because we hit it a lot faster than I anticipated. But that's the beauty of it is now people see our purpose and they see our mission and they see that it's a movement, and I think the greatest form of change does happen at a hyper local level. But by doing that, we have to amplify the voices here on the national and international level so they understand how to do that at the local sector.
Okay. Starting to get a little bit of the blueprint here. So start with the vision.
Yeah.
Understand what that is going to mean for you in terms of your own growth, right? Be the kind of person that attracts that many people. Elevate others, I heard you say, pushing them forward, letting them shine. And by the way, you're going to get so much more brilliance in your network, whatever it is, if you're doing that instead of trying to do it all yourself. And I'm curious, I want to talk kind of the mechanics because I think there'll probably be some instruction in that. So when you first joined the Pride Network, what were the mechanics of it? How often were you meeting? What were people doing in the meetings and things of that nature?
Originally, we didn't have a monthly meetup at all. That was when I was just a DEI liaison when I first started. When I became the chair, we had launched that tea time and systematic process. I used what I call the 4 M's. I learned it in the 9-Figure Mindset, Brandon Dawson. It is a fantastic book, but it's called Model, Mimic, Master, Multiply. And so the concept was to build influence. So we had to model that concept. Who inspires me that I can say, like, I would want to trade places with that person? I have to get them in my inner circle because we're the average of our 5 closest people. So I modeled those that inspired me, top leaders, C-suite executives that are building influence at a much greater level than I was, and then mimicking their processes and systems. You know, how are they amplifying voices? What are they doing to build impact? And that was creating opportunities via the tea times or creating monthly panels. We have 1EXP Culture Cast, and that we would invite guest members, people that are top producers or agents in the community looking to amplify their voice. So we would mimic what top producer leaders or people that were building large influences were doing. What they were doing was amplifying and collaborating with those that were 10 steps above them and pulling that community into their sector and pulling that into their inner circle. So we were doing that, model, mimic, and then we mastered the concept by continuously propelling relationships forward. Because I think it's a lot of this is who we know and who is supporting us. Like I am a cultivated mixture of every leader that has mentored me and poured into me. Because I cherry pick what I love about everybody and then I implement it into my concepts and my plans. And so people like Kendall Bonner, Wendy Forsythe, Leo, people, Amy Somerville, I was watching what they were doing at their level, building influence and sustaining it, right? Because it's not just about building it, but it's also about retention. And so mastering those concepts by getting into intimate rooms with people like that inspired me. And then multiplying and transferring those concepts into the communities via tea time or going to the 1EXP resource affiliate groups. Because a lot of it was synergy and intersectionality, right? Long story short, synergizing with the other 14 affinity groups, because it's not just about pride. I'm a part of 5 of them myself because I'm also a woman. I'm a military veteran. I'm 25 years old, and I'm also Hispanic. So that's EXP Latino, Military Network, Women's Impact, Young Professionals, and Pride. So I found that a lot of those people found intersectionality with us because they're within 1, 2 to 3 degrees of relation to someone that is affected by this community. And even if not, regardless of where you are in real estate, the representation on your transaction makes or breaks consumer experience. You want to make sure that you're equipped with the right tools and assets so that when you are serving the general members of the public, you at least have a community that's going to back you and help you and help educate you through the process, even if that's not something that comes from your walk of life. And so, yeah, the 4 M's were like the mechanical logistics: model, mimic, master, multiply, getting those that have inspired me and taking that knowledge and implementing it forward, but also not stop. Like, don't be hesitant, right? If I did it scared. When I was 22, 23, talking to people that were at C-suite level, of course it scared me because I think a lot of times as we grow older, our imagination diminishes into what's realistic. And people tend to shrink our gifts to the size of what they can stand. And if we're not in the right rooms, generally people will try to shrink us to what is to the environment that we're in. And so doing it, but doing it scared and being not afraid to fail because every failure is the equal seed of a greater opportunity. And as long as I was able to take something valuable from that, then I knew I was moving in the right direction.
So we talked a little bit about kind of right vision, aligning with the right people, kind of voice of customer, so to speak, in the mix. And then presuming we've done all that, now how do we go out to the world to say, we're here? So you went from 990 to 20,000, right? And I'm going to assume 20,000 with a population of 87,000 agents, there's a whole lot of allies and advocates in there as well, right? So being inclusive, how do you go get those people to pay attention and show up put their name on, on a network, a platform, a Facebook group, or whatever, or even get them involved?
Yeah, I would say, it's aligning with the engagement, right? So staying consistent with, we do like weekly prompts, like tag your favorite ally. We partnered with People Team. People Team has helped us give, like, we're working just this month, we're doing over 50 giveaways just from People Team's collaboration with us. People love, participating in things that they know that they could win something, right? Giving back in those ways, it helped a lot, in creating engaging prompts on Workplace, and having our leaders staying consistent in liking posts, lifting people up, shouting them out, like weekly shout outs, throwing them in newsletters. We have Diane Truman, the editor in chief, having her out there seeking out agents in our network that are to write articles, whether they're allies or they're people, members of the LGBTQ plus community. So seeking out intentional opportunities for those that are not just a part of the community, but are definitely allies. Because that was one of the first things I said when I first joined. I was like, there's got to be more than 900 gay people here. There's no shot that there's only 900 gay people at EXP. I refuse to believe that. And so that was when I started finding more gay people. And I was like, are you a part of the Pride Network? And they were like, either, no, I didn't know we had that, or no, because I didn't really see a point to it. And so I was like, okay, if they know who they are and they don't understand the purpose, then that's what we have to work on. If the own community itself doesn't understand what would be the purpose to doing it, why in the world would an ally want to? Because if they couldn't see it, then nobody else would see it either. And so obviously, first and foremost, it's a referral network, right? Coming into 2024, 2025, queer migration is a huge topic. A lot of people are fleeing conservative states. Like my state, I'm seeing it a lot in Oklahoma. A lot of queer migration, people fleeing out of here, and Texas, Georgia, Florida, where they're a lot more aggressive with their anti-LGBTQ plus bills. We have some states that are trying to erase trans in general. Like they've already erased the acronym, the T, off the government websites. I'm like, we're the LGBs. Like this is back in the 1980s and like 70s when we didn't have all the acronyms yet. They're trying to take us out one by one, And so understanding the importance of, the representation truly matters on your transaction. We wanted to make sure that first and foremost, this is a safe space for both you as an agent, but for your clients too. And that was one of the edges that we had. We've also been able to leverage this to recruit agents to EXP and partner with them, because we have competitors like KW has the KW Rainbow Network. And, it's great, but they're not focused on impact the way that we are. And agents saw that. Agents saw that when we were present at conferences. That was a big thing, is being present at conferences, and where we are connecting with leaders across the nation, not just within EXP, but connect outside of EXP too. All of these allies and advocates and those that are in other brokerages and their resource groups, their LGBTQ plus, looked at us and they were like, I want to be a part of that. How do I get in with them? Because they saw that there was energy, there was enthusiasm, but most importantly, there was vision and purpose. And so a lot of it not only just came from existing members of EXP, but we also were able to collaborate and get people from other brokerages that needed that community, especially at a time right now where we need it most.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you find your tribe, whatever that is for you. It's remarkable how quickly you can build a network of people who care about you because you're living a shared experience with them in some fashion or another. And when you have that kind of person in an area versus some agent you don't know, even with another network, by the way, who are you more inclined to send a referral to? Chances are it's going to be you because you've endeared them in whatever way you have.
Yeah.
Camryn, thanks so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And thanks so much for doing everything you're doing for the Pride Network and all the other resource groups as well.
Thank you for having me. This was a really fun conversation. I'm glad I got to be a part of it and connect with you. This is awesome.
Same. And I'm expecting 40,000 this time next year. Okay.
It's on the vision board. You already know it.
I bet it is. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Thank you very much, Bryan, and thank you, Camryn. I butchered your last name on the way in there. It happens sometimes. You got to try to get it right. Cisneros. I just keep messing that up. Cisneros. I gotcha. Thank you for sharing today. We appreciate it. Thanks you for everything you do. And by the way, you and I need to get on a Zoom next week. We got some things we need to talk about. So I'm looking forward to meeting up with you next week. All right, next up, we got a quick section to end the show. Solutions, Seller Shield. If you don't know about Seller Shield, check it out. Here it is now.
All right. Hi, guys. Hi, EXP agents. My name is Carrie Arnold. I am the broker development representative here at Seller Shield, and I have on the fabulous Elizabeth Riley today, and I am super excited to give you a little rundown of what Seller Shield is, and then I'm going to ask Elizabeth some questions about Seller Shield since she's been using us for quite a while. But Seller Shield, we have a gold standard disclosure platform that helps your sellers fill out the property disclosure. It gives them tips, definitions. So it's kind of like a TurboTax, and it just answers questions that they might maybe have to come back and ask you. So it saves you a ton of time as agents, gives you back a 100% complete and signed form. And then through that platform, we also have our gold standard disclosure process, our home sale legal protection, which is kind of similar to what you guys have for E&O insurance, but this is specifically for the seller. Our gold standard disclosure process is completely free and it helps protect you. So for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. But without further ado, I'll ask you a few questions if you're ready, Elizabeth.
I am ready. I'm excited to be here with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. So first question I have is, what specific challenges has Seller Shield helped you overcome in managing your seller's disclosures, and how has it impacted your risk management and transaction?
So I love it because it's an online document. It makes it really easy. Some of the challenges we always would have is the handwritten documents or pages getting lost or things not being filled out correctly and you can't read the writing. Like there's just so many different things. And I think especially with how litigious our industry can be, the seller's disclosure is so important. And so we want to make it crystal clear. And Seller Shield has made it so easy to not only send to our clients, but for our clients to fill out and we get it back immediately. We're not chasing information. So it's a time saver as well, but definitely something that's on our checklist with any of our clients.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. And I agree. I think nobody wants to waste their time. So anything you can do in your industry to save time to me is always a plus.
Yeah.
Next question. So how have your clients responded to using Seller Shield? So when you send them the form through Seller Shield, is it easy for them? Do they, have questions?
It's really simple. You just like we're filling out all of the listing documents and everything else that goes, most of those documents are all electronic. And so it was always kind of a challenge where, okay, we're going to send you all the documents and make it really easy. But, oh, by the way, you have to print this out. You have to fill it out. You have to scan it back in. And my clients just really they just want ease. They don't want complicated processes. And so there's a really good response with all of our clients. We've used Seller Shield. I've used it way before EXP was ever a partner with them. And so I was super fired up when we were a solutions partner because it just makes us look a little bit more streamlined and more current. I mean, nobody's printing out documents anymore and scanning them and filling them out. So I think our industry as a whole kind of evolved there. And so to have the disclosures and the ease of the disclosures and access and filling them out and completion, it just makes it saves time for not only them, but us. And I think it's definitely been well received. I don't have any challenges with my clients. And they also like having the option to put the coverage on, right? It's not required, which is nice, but then they ask questions. What does this look like? And then they have the ability to add that coverage that they don't feel like they're being sold or pressured into anything. And so I like that you guys do that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I love that, they can purchase that home sale legal protection anytime up until closing. So if for some reason they're feeling uneasy about a client or about a situation up until close, anytime up until closing, they can purchase that protection, which is just a little more peace of mind for the seller, in the transaction.
What I've really liked too is we'll have the forms, and based on where they are when they start filling out the information, Seller Shield will suggest the other forms that they need, right? So not just the disclosure, but what if you need the propane disclosure or the on-site sewer? based on their answers, it provides more documentation. So you're not having to chase that information, and you have a complete package when you're starting to market the property.
Yeah, great point. We've had industry experts go through these forms, guys. So they're always updated as soon as the state board, updates a question or something on those forms. Seller Shield has that within 48 hours. So it's very quick. We are on top of our game with those forms. So
Love it.
Yeah, thanks so much. So what would you say to an agent who hasn't tried Seller Shield or don't think they need a disclosure solution?
Why not? It doesn't cost us anything. It didn't cost us anything before EXP, right? Before the solutions agreement, but it's just making it simpler. It's making you look current. Again, nobody is printing out documents. You're not printing out your listing documents. Sometimes, obviously, you need to sit with somebody and it's case by case basis, but you should try it. It's super easy, an easy login, and it's just part of our process. And if you implement it as part of your process, it's not additional work. It's actually saving you time.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I agree so much. Like I said earlier, anything that can save you time in this busy world that we're in, I think is great.
We don't have time chasing down documents or information. Right now, we're just needing to focus on serving our clients at the highest level.
Exactly. Making money, which is what everyone's here for, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, so when it comes to Seller Shield, I know you've been using us, you said, for 10 years now, or almost 10 years. It's been
Probably.
a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think you're one of the originals. So we love having you on. But do you think it's easy to incorporate Seller Shield into your listing process? And any tips that you might have for agents who are just getting started and thinking about using Seller Shield?
It's super easy. So when I send out, we all use different platforms. I use .loop, for example, or if people are using zip forms or SkySlope or DocuSign, whatever. And what I let my sellers know is, okay, you're going to have these documents. We're all communicating the process to our client, whatever our process is. It's all about communication. So I let my clients know, okay, this is what you're going to be receiving from here. These are all the listing documents. And actually, Texas is a disclosure state, so you have to have, or it's non-disclosure, but you have to have these disclosures. So from here, you will get this information. Our T47s, which were survey affidavits that are required in my state, those used to be tedious as well, where you had to print them out and get notarized. Those have even gone electronic. So my clients know everything's coming electronic. These are the places they're coming from. It's super easy. And it's just all about communication and setting expectations up front. And if you include that in your process, then there's no questions coming up later on. And they can ask the questions at the time. So for me, it's just part of my process. It's just a no-brainer. We've implemented it into our system so long ago that it just is something we follow. But it's literally logging in as an agent, putting my client's name in. It goes directly. It sends them the forms they need. I don't have to choose the forms. And then the forms, as soon as they're completed, come right back. So super simple.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. We really appreciate you and appreciate your support and having you on today. And EXP agents, please give us a try. You can find us on Workplace. You can go to our website directly, which is sellershield.com/EXP. You can sign up for free, try it out. Like Elizabeth said, it's free, easy to use, and saves you time. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, EXP is great identifying the right partners for all of us, right? Yes. EXP is not wasting time with people that are not adding value or companies that are not adding value. So I would just say if EXP is providing this as a solution, this is within our company, there's a reason for it. And I encourage everybody to use all of the solutions or try all the solutions, see what works. But this one is definitely hands down always going to be in our tool belt.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You guys have a great day.
All right, there you go. Seller Shield. If you didn't know about it, now you do. Check them out. That's one of our affiliate business solutions. So we have the tools available for you that are hand selected to make sure we get the best of the best. And Seller Shield does a pretty darn good job of that. All right, so there you go. Check out the QR code here. Last thing up, give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Hit the QR code and let us know how we did. Our NPS survey is something we live off of. So give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. Let us know how we did. let us know if you like the changes we've been doing, because we've been changing it and mixing it up a little bit. So I hope that worked out good for you. All right, there you go. June 6th. Happy anniversary to me. Thank you for everything you guys do. And thank you for giving me a place to call home for my business. I love each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing you all live and in person over the next couple months. Stay tuned. Coming up next, iConversations Live.